Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and a puzzle by Bartok the Magnificent today. I have done a puzzle, I've done 3 puzzles by Bartok before, but only in one video. They were the 3 puzzles based on the LinkedIn style puzzles, Zip and Queens and Binero, I don't know, something along those lines. And they were very good. That wasn't what I remembered Bartok's name in connection with. I think it's a great pseudonym, although, as I probably said before, self-praise is no praise. But this puzzle is absolutely fascinating. It's called the Archer's Dozen. It's a virtually empty grid. Well, I mean, it's an empty grid with 12 arrows in it. And if you don't look at the rules, whatever you're thinking they're going to be, it's not that. It's a really interesting rule set. I'm looking forward to trying this. I do not know how hard it's going to be, but I'm a bit nervous. Anyway, we'll look at that in a moment. Don't forget, you can get our apps. They are available on the links under the video, and they include things like Line Sudoku and Fog of War and All the Worms by such luminaries as Phistomefel and Michael Lefkowitz. Do check them out. They're great. So is Sven's Sudoku pad, which is also linked under the video, and Patreon, our Patreon, where you can watch us solve very difficult cryptic crosswords, both of us having a go at the same one this month, or connections. I have a go at that every few days. Well, I mean, I have a go at it every day, and I post the videos every few days. Do check those out. And of course, on the 1st of November, we'll be bringing you a new puzzle hunt of some sort, probably a 9x9 Sudoku hunt. So get ready for that. I'm not ready for this, but let's have a look at the rules of the Archer's Dozen. We've got a quiver full of arrows. The grid has 12. It's not 12. 1, 2, 3. It is 12 arrows. No, it's not. It's 11, isn't it? I hope there isn't a missing arrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe an Archer's Dozen is 11 rather than 12, in the same way that a baker's dozen is 13 rather than 12. I don't know. Anyway, this is called the Archer's Dozen. And the rules are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 must go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Upward pointing arrows, like this one, indicate diagonals where all digits must share the same parity. That is, either all digits are odd or all digits are even. The parity can differ for different arrows and must be determined by the solver. Simple enough for upward facing arrows. Parity lines or something. For downward facing arrows, they indicate diagonals that follow the rules of either a German whisper line or a slow thermometer. You see, you weren't expecting those 2 possibilities, whatever you were expecting. So the German whisper or slow thermometer starts from where the arrow is pointing. And the applicable rule can obviously be different between different arrows and must be deduced by the solver. Along a German whisper line, so let's imagine this was a German whisper line, then the digits as they appear in order must differ by at least 5. So those 2 will have a difference of at least 5 between them, and those 2 and those 2, if this arrow is a German whisper arrow. But if it's a slow thermometer arrow, digits must be non-decreasing starting from the beginning of the thermometer, which will be here. This is the effective bulb where the arrow is. And then each digit after that has to be greater or equal to the previous one. So it could start 1, 1, and then go 9, 9. That would be a possible arrow. I mean, that is really weird. So for upward facing arrows, it's the same parity all the way up. For downward facing arrows, they're either slow thermos, obviously all the way along the diagonal, or German whispers all the way along the diagonal. Just a bizarre set of rules. This obviously, Bartok sent it to us. It's obviously got a unique solution. It feels like an incredible discovery to me. Let's see how we get on. You can try it on that first link under the video. I think it's just the most fascinating idea I've tried for a while. Let's get cracking and see how we go. So there is the long diagonal has arrows at both ends. So these are all the same parity. Let's give it a colour. And the line from the bottom just determines that colour. The line from the top says it's either a slow thermo. So if these were all odd, this could go 1. Okay, it can't be a slow thermo from the top, can it? If they were odd, it would go 1 at a minimum, 1, 3, 5, 5, 7, 9. 9, you'd have got down that far, but then you can't find another odd digit there. And evens has got to be worse. 2, 4, 6, 6, 8. Right. This line is a German whisper. Let's put that in green. I mean, it must be. I don't think I can have misunderstood this. And it's clearly very helpful that it's pointing in both directions. But I don't know that purple is odd. Purple could be even. Oh no, wait, it couldn't. If the only even digits that can sit next to each other on a German whisper line are 2 and 8. Well, this could go 2, 8, but then it's stuck because you'd be repeating a digit. Right, bingo. Purple is odd. So it's now orange. And you can't have any 5s on this green line. We know that about German whisper lines. 5 has no possible neighbours. So the digits will go high, low. I can't really mark this if I'm marking the grid in parity. High, low, high, low, high, low. Or the other way around. Low, high, low, high, low, high. Okay, I am going to part colour them. So we'll have purple and green. But do we know anything else? How about where the transition... Okay, no, we know that these digits can't be 4 or 6, but we know that because they're odd. Oh, but hang on. If these are low, these greens, they're 1 and 3 in the box. And then this digit has to be 9. If they're high, they're 7 and 9, and this digit has to be 1. So the digit in the middle of these boxes is always 1 or 9. And in 2 cases, it's the same polarity, the same highness or lowness, and therefore these 2 digits are the same, and that one is the opposite. And what do we know about 1 and 9 or 3 and 7 in the other cells? We do know that we're not going to have a 3-7 pair here and here, for instance. Oh, but we also know that one of these purple cells is going to be 3 or 7. At least one. No, only one. The other one is going to be, imagine that's a 9. These would have to be 1 and 3 for the German whisper rule. So one of them would be a 3. And would have to be next to a 9 on the other side. Oh, I don't know how. Not only do I not know how to use that at the moment, I don't think we can possibly use it at the moment because we don't know anything. Now, so we've got these other 2 upward arrows. So let's give them colours, sort of neutral colours, not high, not low, not odd, not even. Yellow and red. Now, these don't have downward pointing arrows into them. One of them could be odd, because that would give us 5 odd cells in each of boxes 7, 5, and 3. And that's not too many. But at least one of them is even. But we don't have to worry about their whisper or thermoness coming down because there's no arrows coming down. There's arrows coming down here and here, and here, oh, and here. There's an arrow going up here as well. Ah, these are all the same parity going up. And that means yellow and red are the same parity. So let's make red yellow. And now we know that yellow can't be orange, or there would be 7 in lots of boxes. So yellow becomes blue. And this upward arrow is also blue, and this one, oh, this goes through blue as well, doesn't it? They're all blue. That's 4 blues in loads of boxes. Boxes 7, 5 and 3, so I can fill in everything else as orange. Blues in boxes 1 and 9, and we get little quincunxes of orange, Simon's favourite word. And that's 4 blues in row 3 and column 7 and row 7 and column 3. So the other digits in those are orange. And there we go. We've got a lot of checkerboard colouring done in the puzzle. And this line is either a slow thermo or it's really constrained, or a German whisper. It's what I said about even digits being next to each other is true. If this is a German whisper, all of the digits on this line are 2 or 8, because 4 and 6 cannot touch another even digit on a whisper. So, okay, what I'm going to do for now is put in a neutral colour line. I'm going to make this line yellow for now, because we don't know if it's a whisper or a slow thermo. But if it's a whisper, and I think this is highly unlikely, but if it's a whisper, these are all 2s and 8s. In fact, they alternate 2, 8, 2, 8, 2, 8, 2, 8, or the other way around, 8, 2. Now, if it's a slow thermo, something else is happening. If we went 2, 4, 4, 4, there's only one way of filling it. 6, 6, 6, 8. Right, I'm pencil marking this. It's either all 2s and 8s, or it goes 2, 4, 4, 4, 6, 6, 6, 8. And that's right, because these 3 points on the grid must be transitions between a lower number and a higher number, because they're in the same box as each other. Right, is there some obvious way that one of these doesn't work? Okay, imagine these are all the same digit. Let's say they're all 2s. If those 2 had to be the same digit, that would be really useful. That would rule 2 out of all the blue cells in box 7, but they don't. It would be these that would all be the same digit. So that would appear in one of these 2 cells. And anywhere else? Obviously, oh, one of these 2 because of this. Oh, and then definitely here. Oh, this is strange. What's going on? Oh, hang on. There's 4 blues in this column, so I can colour the rest of the column. Same is true for row 2, column 8, row 8. There's 4 blues in all of these rows and columns, so everything else is orange. And now in the central column, I've got 5 orange, so I can make everything else blue. 5 orange. I mean, look at the symmetry of this thing. Of course, it's just carrying on. Now I've got 8 cells left to colour. 1 each in each box, 1 each in each row, 1 each in each remaining column. I don't know, I don't think I can do that yet. Presumably this is going to be a clue. This is either a slow thermo or a German whisper. I've used all the upward arrows now, they're done. I'm finished with the upward arrows. Good grief, I mean, I haven't done anything. I've got a lot of colour, a lot of parity knowledge. I don't know any digits in the grid, and now I can only use the half a dozen downward arrows. Oh, let's look at this one. This is fully coloured. Right, if this was a slow thermo, this could be two, well, it could be anything. These could all be the same as each other on a slow thermo. And then that, I mean, it could go 2, 3, 3, 3, 4. Or 6, 7, 7, 7, 8. If it's a German whisper, these three are all high and the other two low, or the other way round. I don't know. This one is exactly the same shape. Okay, maybe there's a problem with them both being slow thermos, because it would be a continuing slow thermo. 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6. Wow. You wouldn't even have to get out of third gear. You'd be on a 6 at the bottom. Then we've got this one, sorry, this diagonal and this one. I mean, they could even have blues at both ends. One of them could. Both of them could. I don't know. Well, I'm sorry, I do not know how to approach this puzzle. I also am beginning to wonder how we ever disambiguate the 10 minus version of the slow thermos will do it. Sorry, I was just wondering if we got to the end and we found that every line was a German whisper. I mean, I know it's unlikely, but it might happen. Then there would be two possible solutions, because you could subtract every cell in the puzzle from 10 and have an alternative. So at least one of the lines in this puzzle, uniqueness tells me, is going to be a slow thermo. This is not a big discovery. I've only identified one of the lines in the puzzle at all. That is a whisper. I just can't see any problems with these other ones being whispers or thermos. In fact, it barely matters that they're slow thermos, some of them. Gosh, I don't know. Okay, let's go back to that earlier thought, that if this is a whisper, these are all the same. There are only 3 ways to fill this line. I mean, it's an interesting thought. There are only 3 ways to fill this line. It either goes 8, 2, 8, 2, 8, 2, 8, 2. And that's the only version that begins with an 8. Alternatively, it might go the other way around, 2, 8, 2, 8, 2, 8, 2, 8. Or the thermo way, 2, 4, 4, 4. 6, 6, 6, 8. So let's look at the thermo way. I mean, maybe it's madness to try and eliminate that, because since the other two are the same in different versions, maybe they both get eliminated. But I do want, the thermo way gives me the only way to actually find other digits, because all of these would be 4s on the thermo. And then this cell is the only place for 4, because it's got to be blue, remember, in box 7. And 4 in box 6 would be in one of these two. Because of the one we get in box 7, 4 would be in one of these two. Do I mean 4? Yes, I do. And this is not allowed to be a 4. Okay. So if 4 is here on the thermo version, 4 is there, 4 has to now be here in box 9. And then 4's in one of those two cells in box 8. 4's in one of those two in box 3, that is, sorry. And in this version, in this version, it's not just 4s that are fixed. Everything else is fixed as well. Ah, right. So 4s go here. This is an 8. So now this must be an 8-4 pair, and that must be 2-6, and that's an 8. Oh my goodness, you're going to have to visualize the whole thing. Right, if 4s are there, that's a 4. That's a 4. And these are 6s in this version. These are 6s and that's a 6. I'm sorry, this is hard. One of those is a 6. Oh, one of these two is a 6 in column 8. And that's an X-wing. We're starting with a 2 in this, so that's a 6. There is a bit more prescriptiveness to this than I thought. One of these two is a 6 and one of these two is a 6 in this theory. But you've also got 4s knocking around. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm going to change tack and think about what happens if this is a whisper line and these are all the same digit. And let's first of all imagine that they are 2s repeating everywhere. So one of these two is a 2 in box 7. Oh, that one is the only 2 available in box 5 now. Oh, hang on. Let's think about it as if they're 8s. If those are 8s, this is an 8. In row 5. If these digits if yellow is a German whisper line starting with an 8, this digit is an 8. Now 8's an interesting digit to start one of these downward lines because it's very, very hard for it to be a slow thermo, and this one couldn't be because you could get 8999 but then you run into the 5th digit. So this would have to be a whisper. And then this would be high and would be 6 because it sees an 8. Remember, all of these are 8s in this postulation. That's an 8. This is going to have to be 6 with a 1 here. Now, is that interesting? Does it fail though? It's really prescribed, but I can't see that it fails. Let's try it with 2s again. Maybe something happens that I just can't see, and that becomes a 2. Oh, and that's on the end of... that's on the end of this. Maybe it's harder for that to be 2. Because that's on the end of this line, which clearly cannot be a... okay. That can't be... So let me draw this line in as well. The pink. Well, how did that happen? I wasn't over there in that part of the grid at all. Oh, total fail on my drawing skills. Right. What I'm saying is if the yellow is a whisper line and these are 2s on it, and that's a double if, I know that, but there are only 3 fills for this line. I'd like to rule at least one of them out. This digit would be the only 2 in row 5. That would ensure that this pink line can only be a whisper. It couldn't be a slow thermo because you couldn't get digits before 2 on it up the line, even with repeats. So this would be a whisper, and that would be a low digit, because the thing we know about these whispers is the same height or lowness alternates every 2 cells. So that would be 1 or 3, and this would be 2 or 4. And now it would have to be a 4, and it doesn't work. Right, this doesn't work. I'm going to write in the digit. I can see it in my head, and that means I don't count it as bifurcation, but to show it to you, I'm going to write in the digits. If this was a whisper starting with 2, you'd have those 2's on the line. Everything else would be 8's. Let's put them in as well. The only place for 2 in this row is in this box, and it has to be in a blue cell. It's there. Now, this line can't be a slow thermo, so it must be a whisper. And that means this digit is low. Bear that in mind, 1 or 3. And this digit is low, 2 or 4, but it can't be 2. So it would be 4. It would have to be next to a 9 on the line. And this digit would become a 1, but that is next to a low digit. Impossible. So that is not what happens. And we have ruled out one of the 3 possible lines down here. We've ruled out the version that begins with a 2 and is a whisper. Now, annoyingly, that doesn't let me put a single digit in. Oh, yes, or does it? This line either goes to, it's either the thermo now, to 444, 666, or it's the 8282 version of the whisper. So actually, that digit's not 8 now. This one is not 2. This one is either 2 or 4. It's not 8. This one is either 6 on the thermo or 8 on the whisper. This is 6 on the thermo or 2 on the whisper. This is 6 on the thermo or 8 on the whisper. This is 8 on the thermo or 2 on the whisper. Okay. So we've at least taken out some possibilities. Right, which one am I going to think about? I spent some time thinking about the 8282 version. Let's think about the thermo version, 2444, 666, and let's try and think about these cells. Because with a 4-6 here, this is a 2-8 pair in the rest of the box. With a 2-4 here, this is a 6-8 pair. 6-8 here, this is a 2-4 pair. I haven't thought about that yet. It's not just a 2-4 pair, because we know 4-4 would create 4 here. So in this 2-4 pair, that would have to be 4. This would be 2. Oh, look, look. This would be high. And I think this would be low. I think this is right. I think my head is exploding. If this is 2, so I'm thinking about the thermo possibility here. 2, 444, 666. That's the only way you can fill it as a thermo. Now the 4s there make this a 4. That makes this a 4. And that makes this a 2 in the thermo version. And that is looking at this cell. As is 4 from here. So this cell would be high. Now, what's looking at this cell? I'll tell you what's looking at that cell. This is a 2. Oh, there's a pair of 6s here. So that 6 is looking at that cell. And this is an 8. So one of those 2 is an 8. So that cell is an 8. And that's also looking at that cell. So this would be low. Right. I'm going to show you again what happens if we fill in the digits, because I can see it in my head, but it's not easy to explain. If this is a thermo, this is incredible. This puzzle is absolutely incredible. Fact. We get 2, 444, 666. That has to be. Now, 4 and 4 makes this a 4. And this digit now sees 4 and 6 in the row and 8 in the box and becomes a 2. This digit now sees 2 and 4 and is high. And in a very similar way, this 8 means one of those two is an 8, and that means 8 has to be here in box 1, and that digit now sees 6 and 8 and has to be low. And this impossibility is impossible. Pardon my stringing sentences together that are tautologically bloomin' obvious. But we have to alternate on a whisper line. Oh no, it could be a thermo. I thought I'd ruled out it being a thermo. I patently haven't. No, I have, because this would have to be... This has got exactly the same problem. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been looking at that cell. I should have been looking at this cell, which also sees 6 and 8 in this version. And it's this line that is impossible. I haven't given it a colour yet, have I? Let's make it a red line. This is impossible because they can't be a thermo because of the change in height. And they also can't be a whisper because of the alternation of polarity. These three have to all be high or all low. And that does not work. And therefore this is not a slow thermo. Let's get rid of all the digits I just put in and all the pencil marks in all the cells and all the gin joints and all the world. And we now know that this yellow line should be green. That is a whisper, and we also know it doesn't begin with 2 because we ruled out that version earlier on. It begins with 8, and I've got actual digits going in the grid. 27 minutes in, nearly half an hour in, and I get my first digit in the grid, but I also get the next 7 in as well. And that's wrong. I did not alternate correctly. There we go. That's right. Now, we've done one line out of that. Now I don't know what pink and red are because I haven't ruled them out. But surely I can do some Sudoku on something. 8 is in one of those cells in box 7. It's in that cell in row 5. And that's, yes, that's absolutely key. This now cannot be the thermo because you couldn't go up through an odd digit to a digit here. So this red line is definitely a whisper. Wouldn't it be funny if they were all whispers? That's the third out of 3 that are whispers. Right, this digit is low, 1 or 3. This is high, 7 or 9. This is low, 1 or 3. And this one is high, but it can't be 8. So that's a 6, and that has to be next to 1 on the line. And now we know that this purple is high and odd, and therefore is always 7 or 9, and that one's a 9. And this green is low and always odd, and this digit is a 1 in the middle, and these are a 1-3 pair, and these are a 1-3 pair. And now we're making progress. This is a 4-6 pair in the box. This is a 3-5 pair. This is a 5-7 pair. This is a 5-7 pair. This is a 4-6 pair. This is a 4-6 pair. Oh, this turned out to be a whisper. I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be the thermo. This digit sees a 6, so it's a 4. And this digit sees 4, 8, 6 in the column, so that's a 2. And this line is not a whisper now, because it's got a low digit at one end and then a high digit at the other, and this can be low, but that can't be. They're on alternation. So this here, we have found our slow thermo. So I'll make that grey thermo colour. And I know that this digit is a 3, because it's got to be bigger than the 2. This is also a 3. This one could be blooming anything, 3, 5 or 7. This digit is now a 1 because of that 3, But that 3 is also next to a digit on the line. So that's a 9. That's a 7. This now has to be 1. And now we get 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light, proving its position. Oh, I'm so happy. That gets us 3 in box 1. This puzzle is utterly fantastic. I just can't express my admiration for this. This is so interesting. We get 1 down here. And we get 1 in column 8. That has to be here. I could possibly, I don't know if I could have done that based on the whisper. I can certainly do it by Sudoku. Now, 1 is in one of those cells, but you have to be careful. It could be here. Oh, there's so much Sudoku to do. This is lovely, lovely. I'm very happy now. 2 is in one of those cells. 8, 4. That's 2 or 6. This one is 4 in the row. It's even. This is even 2 or 6. Oh, the only big digit they see is this is 4 or 8. So he's 2 and 6 in the row. I thought this was going to be a bit easier actually. These are from 4, 6, 8. That is 4 or 8. Okay, pursuing the even digits has surprisingly been fruitless here. I need to do more lines, don't I? That's what I need to do. Insert a joke here. Now, let's have a look at this. I don't know, they don't seem very helpful yet. This digit, just by Sudoku, it sees 1, 8, 7, 4 and 3. So it's 2, 5, 6 or 9. But what are these? I just don't know enough yet. That is 4, 6 or 8. This is 2, 4 or 6. Okay, this is quite interesting. For this to be a thermo, that's 4 and that's 6. It would have to ascend as it goes down. This digit would be 8 or 9. This one would have to be a 2. So it could be a thermo, but only just. And if it's a whisper, that's 8 and that's 2. So there are limitations here. This can't be a 4. This one is either an 8 or a 4. It can't be a 6. And that's a 4-8 pair now, looking at that cell. This puzzle's getting weird. It's blowing my mind. That's a 4. This is a 2-6 pair. This is a 4-8 pair, and that digit is a 6, because it's being looked at by a 4-8 pair. That's a 4 now, which I could have got from this row. These remaining digits in the row are 3, 5 or 7. That's nice. This one is also 3, 5 or 7. We've got, oh, why can't I do 1 here? Don't know. This puzzle's amazing. I love it. And I still don't know what that line was. Now, what about this one? It may be a very similar thing. No, it's not a similar thing. It's so odd. What is this by Sudoku? Can't be 1, 2, 3, 6 or 9. 4, 5, 7 or 8. For this to be a thermo, I don't think it'll work. That means this would have to be 6. This would have to be 8. And this would have to be 8 or 9, but it can't be. So this is not a thermo. This is a whisper. Still haven't coloured the whole grid, but I'm getting the last, well, maybe the last couple of lines resolved. This is a whisper. That can't be a 6 next to this. These are in fact 2 and 8 on the whisper. That is high, 7 or 8. I don't know its parity. This is low, 1, 2 or 3, but it can't be 1. So 2 or 3. 2, 8 there gives me 4 and 6 here. Oh, that didn't finish off anything. This is now a 4. It sees 2, 6 and 8. This is a 6 because it sees the other even digits. This is... How can I not be done in this box when I'm done everywhere else in blue digits? Hang on. It's probably coming. 2, 6 here, 4 here. It's not coming. Those 2 6s are not resolved, and these 4 8s are not. That is so peculiar. This puzzle's done it again. Okay, we worked out that was a whisper. Can we work? I tried working this one out and I couldn't, and I haven't learned much more. This last digit is not 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. It's 4, 5, 8 or 9. This seems to work quite well as a thermo if it goes 4, 6 there. But it works perfectly well as a whisper if it goes 8, 2 there. Oh, it's so strange. Right. Let's do Sudoku. Let's time. This digit is 5 or 7. Is there anything on the lines I've already got that I haven't filled in? Only that and these. I've only found one thermo out of the 5 lines I have filled in. Right, never mind about that nonsense. This is 1 or 5. 1, 5, 7 still to place in the row. In the columns, these are from 5, 7, 9. I mean, literally, it is time to do. That's also 5, 7 or 9. If I could say that wasn't a 3, I'd be in business. I can't. These are, that one's not a 3. So this one's not a 7 now. That's a 3, 5 pair. Bingo. Sudoku. So that's a 1. This is not a 1. I can place 1 in box 1. Now I can place 1 in box 4. Not quite as helpfully as if it had been there, I admit. Because there I would have known about all the parities outside. That's 3 or 5. Oh, that's interesting. One of these cells is a 9. It's interesting, but it's not conclusive. One of these 2 cells is a 9 as well. Wow, I don't know. This is 5, 7 or 9. 2, 4, 8, 1, 6. We've got, again, 3, 5, 7, 9 still to... Okay, I'm not getting this. I'm still stuck. It's such a good puzzle. So it's going to be all about this line. Or is it? Oh, well, hang on. One of these digits is a 2. It feels like this is going to be a whisper again, doesn't it? Well, maybe not to you. If this was a 2, that would be a 2. Oh, that would be quite interesting. This would start getting high. Now that is interesting. I don't think this can't be 9, because although it could connect to a 4 there, that couldn't connect on a whisper. So, and it can't possibly be a 9 starting a thermo, so it's not 9. In fact, it's a problem for this to be high. If this was a 6, the thermo won't work because that has to be 8 and this has to be lower. And the whisper won't work because the connection's impossible. If this is a 5, it's the same problem. It can't be a whisper, and that would be an 8 on the thermo, and that would be lower. So this is a 2. That is just available. Oh, that's taken me ages, but that's going to finish it in a second. These are 6s. That's a 2. And look, now this gets in the way of this being a thermo, and therefore it's yet another whisper. We've got, of the 6 down arrows, we had 5 whispers and 1 single slow thermo. This one is an 8. It's brilliant. This is high. I don't know if it's 8 or 9 yet. It doesn't have to be 2, 8, 2, 8. But that sounds like an owl. To woo. These are orange to complete the colouring in their rows and columns. That's blue, and therefore that is a 2. Oh, but it doesn't tell me about these colours. Oh, stop it. Oh, but 3 there is looking at that cell. That's probably been available for ages. Oh, that might have shortcut a lot of things. That's a 5, 7, 9 triple. That's a 3. This is not 3. That's not 3. How are 3s going? Oh, they're going okay. But one of those, in this column, one of these 2 is a 3. So that has to be a 5. And that's really helpful. This is now 7. That's 9. These are a 3, 5 pair over this side. In fact, we know that's 5 in the corner. 3 there. That's a 7. This is 9. Oh, look, these last 3 columns are finito bonito. That's not a 5. In this row, there's only one place for 5, and that's 4 as well. And this is 7. We are finishing off. I still don't know the last. I mean, to get to this stage of this puzzle and not know the colouring is just extraordinary. How has that possibly happened? I mean, it could be my ineptitude, but it has happened, and I find it extraordinary. Look, I'm left with a 7-8 pair at the top, but the 7 down here finally sorts it out. And it's not an all blue line, this one. That is orange. That's blue. This is blue. That's orange and must be a 9, therefore. That one's done as a 7. And this is going to no, that's an 8. This is going to complete the puzzle. A 3 in the spotlight. What a magnificent puzzle, Bartok. That's just incredible. Not many people have solved that. A lot of people are going to solve it today and are going to be delighted, I hope, like I am, by how wonderful this is. Absolutely brilliant. I take a bow to you, Bartok. You are magnificent. You can call yourself anything you like, because this is incredible. Blown away. Absolutely astonished. It's fabulous work. And I have enjoyed the heck out of this puzzle. Thank you so much for watching us do this on the channel. I mean, sometimes you get revelations like this. It really was a discovery of a grid. Absolutely astonishing. Oh, I'm in love with it. I'll see you again tomorrow, I hope. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.